The bull run comes with many narratives, and with those narratives, millionaires are born. So in this video, we will provide you with a selection of different narratives and cryptocurrencies we think could make crypto millionaires in the coming 2025 bull run. But before we begin, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, and let's dive straight into it. So ladies and gentlemen, diving straight into it, we're going to be providing you with the first narrative. But before we begin, I want to tell you that we are going to split up this video into multiple parts because there are multiple narratives to provide you, but very limited time. Therefore, what I'm going to do is we're going to dive straight into the first one, which is probably my favorite narrative, and that is the real world assets narrative, also known as RWA. You probably already heard of this one, and if you haven't, this is essentially protocols that are working to enable real world protocols and companies to move on chain, whether or not that's data, whether or not that's real physical items. These are all transferable onto the blockchain. Now, you can see down below we've got many different protocols. We've got Chainlink, a leading oracle of which sources data and information to and from the blockchain. We've got Avalanche, a leading layer 1 blockchain of which has many RWA features. Hedera HBAR with a stablecoin infrastructure and many other RWA features. Mantra a layer 1 dedicated to RWA. Ondo, another protocol dedicated to RWA. Guys, there are honestly so many down here, and although we could go through each and every protocol describing exactly what they do and what they are, I'm very simply just here to show you which ones that I'm very bullish on. And of course, in the future, if you have any questions or if you would like us to cover a specific protocol, you can let us know in the comment section down below and we'll make a full video on that protocol. But these top 5 guys, to be honest with you, are my favorite in terms of RWA. However, there are a few down below, such as Quant Network, which I am very bullish on myself. Reserve Rights, of which I am currently doing some heavy research on right now. However, there are many others within the smaller market cap spectrum, so it all depends on your risk tolerance. So to be honest with you guys, if you would like to see some smaller cap cryptocurrencies within an RWA narrative or any other narrative, you can let us know in the comment section down below and we'll be happy to provide you more for you. However, guys, this is a top tier narrative of which you should keep your eye on. For those who don't know what RWA is, real world assets in blockchains are digital tokens that represent physical and traditional financial assets such as currencies, commodities, equities, and bonds. This could include real estate, it could include a Ferrari F40, it could include a Rolex, it could include many things. This is why I personally believe it is going to be one of the leading narratives of the future. Guys, trillions of dollars could very easily flood into the crypto market. And with that being said, we could very well see many of these cryptocurrencies rise to enormous heights, from the $1 billion market caps or the $1 million market caps they have to potentially tens of billions of dollars. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but honestly, if one narrative is going to do that, RWA, in my opinion, is going to be the one. So, moving on to the second narrative. Like I said, guys, we could be here for ages explaining each and every cryptocurrency and why I am so bullish on each and every narrative. But we are going to keep it short and sweet for each one so that you can do your own research. And if you have any questions, you can let us know. But the next narrative is going to be none other than AI, artificial intelligence. Now, obviously, guys, you were going to expect this one on the list. And although I could have saved it for the next video, it would have been very obvious anyway. So let's get it out the way. AI, as you all know, is going to be the future no matter what you say. AI is making its development in all forms of technology and, of course, specifically Web3 as well. There are many protocols nowadays utilizing the powers of AI, and if they are not utilizing the powers of AI, in my personal opinion, they'll be left behind. Therefore, these protocols on this list, my friends, utilizing the powers of AI could very well grow to enormous heights the more they develop and, of course, the more traction they gain. The Near protocol, a very popular layer 1 blockchain harnessing the powers of AI and has been for a very long time. Internet Computer, another layer 1 of which has been utilizing AI for a very long time too. BitTensor Tau, Render Network, Filecoin, Dexy, Story IP, Artificial Superintelligence, Theta Network, The Graph, Injective, guys, these are all networks that I am very fond of that are utilizing AI. Now, there are many more, and like I said with the RWA narrative, we are not going to explain each and every protocol and how they work, but from a glance, guys, honestly, all of these cryptocurrencies, there's nothing that I personally have against any of them. There are many other smaller cap cryptocurrencies that I would like to keep an eye on in this field as well. If we scroll down on this list on coinmarketcap.com, you will see many protocols utilizing AI. Now, of course, it's down to you to do your own research on whichever ones that you would like to get your hands on. And of course, you can ask us a few questions surrounding any of these cryptos. But personally, guys, Saga is one that I like in the AI field with a smaller market cap of $53 million. Also, Altura, also known as Alu, is a pretty good one in my personal opinion. Obviously, take this with a pinch of salt. LimeWire, another fantastic one of which we are going to be making a full video on in the future, and we have got many more. However, AI, for those who don't know how it works with crypto, well, we are seeing it being used in many different ways. We are seeing AI agents being born. We are seeing AI analysis, AI security, and even AI development. Guys, AI is providing us with powerful tools that we can use to upgrade our crypto experience. Not only that, guys, but AI is helping us to get closer to global crypto adoption. And with that being said, I personally believe that is going to help us rise to great heights. And with that being said, once again, we are going to see many AI and data tokens within the crypto industry reach billions of dollars of market cap, and that is most likely going to be the case. AI is an ever-growing technology, and it will always be here in Web3 no matter what we say. It will always be here in every single technology from now on. AI is the future. No matter if you like it or not, it is going to be here. That is why, guys, selecting a few AI tokens is not a bad shout whatsoever, and that's why we are now going to leave this narrative like that. And if you want to see any other protocols explained within this narrative, you can let us know once again. But moving on to the third narrative of this video, we are going to be covering the DePIN narrative. Now, the DePIN narrative, also known as DEPIN, is a very unique narrative of which enables blockchain technology to incentivize individuals to collectively create and manage physical infrastructure like wireless networks or energy grids, offering a decentralized, community-driven alternative to traditional centralized systems. This enables people to earn passive income by providing computing power, storage, internet, and bandwidth. Honestly, guys, this is a key infrastructure of which we are going to be using in the future and even right now as we speak. Honestly, there are many protocols, and you can see that over on CoinMarketCap. We've got BitTensorTau, the leading DePIN protocol. Render Network, another leading DePIN protocol. Filecoin, a leading DePIN and data protocol Theta Network. BitTorrent, IOTA, Walrus, Helium, another superb choice. Grass, of which we've covered in our free crypto airdrop guides. Multiverse X, guys, you can see where I'm going with this. There are so many protocols in this industry, and I personally believe this is going to be a huge one. Now, why do I say this? Well, I personally believe control over our assets, control over our internet, control over our data, control over everything is extremely important, and this is the power of decentralization. And with that being said, we've got DePIN. DePIN enables us to take control of our internet, our computing power, our bandwidth, everything of which we can utilize with the powers of technology, and enables us to earn passive income from it. Centralized companies that be right now take advantage of us and they earn from us. Now it's time to take control, and we can do that by utilizing DePIN protocols. Now, this is an industry of which has a market cap of $13.5 billion right now as we speak. It is pretty big. It is not the biggest like RWA, however, it is not far off. These DePIN protocols, in my personal opinion, have a great future ahead of them, well, a lot of them anyway, including BitTensor, Render, Filecoin, and so on. They have formed major partnerships. They have formed incredible ecosystems of which attract users and developers. Honestly, DePIN is going to be one of those narratives that blows, in my personal opinion, and therefore by doing your research and selecting a few altcoins within this narrative may not be a bad idea. Of course, we are not financial advisors, guys, but by selecting a few of these, diversifying in your portfolio and having a couple of them at least could very well be a great shout. But of course, take that all with a pinch of salt and do your own research. Now, although I'd like to provide you with a few smaller cap options, in my personal opinion, this narrative is pretty competitive, and therefore these top ones up here pretty much run the game, including Helium, Grass, Render, Filecoin, BitTensor. Honestly, guys, even Arweave and IOIS, these are some of the leading protocols, but the ones with a smaller market cap, you may want to be extra cautious because the competition is extremely stiff, and you may want to decide whether or not you want to either A, utilize these DePIN protocols by providing your internet and bandwidth and so on, or B, by simply hodling a DePIN token. It's entirely up to you. But to be honest with you guys, this is a narrative that I am definitely keeping my eye on, and one that I definitely think will hit a $100 billion market cap and beyond in the coming bull run. With a market cap that will have trillions of dollars, I think a $100 billion market cap for the DePIN narrative is not much at all. So that is the third narrative of this video, and once again we are going to leave that short and sweet. We've explained what DePIN is, we've explained what RWA is, and we've explained what AI is in crypto. What is the next and fourth narrative that we are going to show you? Well, this is one that you may not expect on the list. However, it is the oracles. Now, the oracles narrative is a very, very tight and stiff competitive narrative, of which is basically run by one protocol alone, and that is Chainlink. Chainlink is the leading oracle out there and the leading decentralized oracle of the world. Web 2 and Web 3 companies from all over the place are utilizing Chainlink, and you can see that it takes up the majority of the market cap with $7.5 billion out of the total $10.388 billion in this entire market cap of the oracle narrative. So, what I'm trying to say is, guys, Chainlink is the dominant protocol of them all in this narrative. However, for those who want to understand what an oracle is, in a nutshell, a blockchain oracle is a service that connects the blockchains to external systems, enabling smart contracts to interact with real-world data and execute based on inputs and outputs from outside the blockchain. Therefore, you can move information such as weather, predictions or sports scores or anything it may be, whatever information from the blockchain over to the real world or to the real world over to the blockchain. Oracles are essential to the world of crypto, and if we don't have oracles, in my personal opinion, it is as good as nothing. We really do need oracles to source and provide information to and from the blockchain, and therefore that is why we have Chainlink and many other protocols. But many other protocols find it very hard to compete with Chainlink, and that is fair enough. However, there are a few other alternatives. So Chainlink, in my personal opinion, is obviously the leader, and it says that pretty much with the market cap. However, BitTensor, which is more of a DePIN protocol, also lies under this narrative. However, another big one we've got is the Pyth network, the band protocol, and another one which is coming soon is Switchboard, of which you may also qualify for their airdrop. So there are protocols out there trying to compete with Chainlink, and although they may not ever reach the same market cap size as Chainlink, I personally believe they could very well do well and rise to greater heights than what they have now. And therefore, guys, in the future, the more that we need blockchain technology, the more that we need real world information and data, the more oracles become important and the more likeliness of these protocols rising to greater heights. And of course, in my personal opinion, once again, I think this $10.38 billion market cap won't last forever, and hopefully soon we should hit those $100 billion market caps and beyond. I'm not saying that will be the case, guys. This is a very stiff and competitive narrative, like I've said multiple times. However, we're going to leave it there, and we are going to leave it short and sweet. So, moving on to the fifth narrative of this video, guys. We are not going to be providing you with many more, and this time it is going to be gaming, also known as GameFi. The entire narrative has got a market cap of $9.48 billion, which is extremely small considering there are so many different GameFi protocols, and considering the fact that the Oracle narrative had a $10.38 billion market cap with very few protocols within that narrative. Now, down below, guys, you can see so many. You can see 4: Immutable, The Sandbox, Gala, Floki, Decentraland, Axie Infinity, Multiverse X, Ronin, ApeCoin. Guys, there are honestly so many different protocols within this narrative. Either A, providing you with some Web3 games, or B, providing the games with the infrastructure to develop and create games. Now, to be honest with you, I think GameFi is going to make a major comeback. We have seen a huge rise before with the market cap of GameFi. As you can see, it's seen an all-time high of $49.92 billion in 2022. I think we are going to well exceed that in the future. We are going to see major gaming corporations such as Ubisoft, EA, such as hopefully Rockstar, tying in with crypto, and therefore this could very well take the narrative up to multi-billions of dollars. Guys, GTA 6 alone could very well take this to a $100 billion market cap. Imagine being able to trade your assets from the GTA 6 game with cryptocurrencies. Well, honestly, it would change the entire world and the way that we transfer assets, and of course, specifically digital assets within games. So to be honest with you guys, I think play to earn will be the future. I think GameFi is going to be the future of gaming. Why wouldn't people want to earn while they game? And why wouldn't people want to actually be able to own all of the skins they buy, all of the things they buy in their games, and make them transferable so that they can at least sell it and maybe even make a profit? So to be honest, like I said multiple times, this is a narrative that we want to keep an eye on. It is a narrative that really doesn't need much explanation. The only problem is with most of these games out here, guys, is that we are looking for AAA games. Now, trying to compete with GTA, Call of Duty, Fortnite is extremely hard. But the moment that one of these major corporations creates a Web3 powered game is the moment that everything changes. And of course, the narrative makes a huge comeback and hopefully makes many millionaires, of which we are hoping for. Now, down below, guys, I can show you a selection of different cryptocurrencies in this narrative, of which I am very fond of myself. However, it also depends on you guys, and it also depends on which games you like and which protocols you are bullish on yourself. So always do your own research. But me personally, immutable. This is going to be one protocol that is going to be here for a very long time in my personal opinion. They have got major ties with Ubisoft and many other huge corporations. Sandbox, another one of which has huge partners and it has its very own land of which major companies such as Adidas, Atari and many others own. We've got Gala Games, of which used to be one of the most popular GameFi protocols and has also got some incredible partnerships. We've got Floki, which is building their own metaverse. Decentraland Manor, which has also got their own VR world. Axie Infinity, a very popular game within Web3 and also was one of the leading games out there in the past. Multiverse X, another infrastructure. Ronin, ApeCoin. Guys, you see where I'm going with this. There are so many, and there are so many within these smaller market cap spectrums, of which you should definitely be doing your research on, because many of these could rise to hundreds of millions of dollars worth of market cap or even billions. So this is a narrative that I'm very much keeping an eye on. Although it is on the higher risk spectrum, I personally think that at some point the GameFi narrative will make a comeback. But if it doesn't, I'll be very, very upset. So that is the fifth narrative of this video. Now guys, I'm going to give you one more, and then in the future you can expect a part 2 to see what other narratives we will be providing you. So the last and sixth final narrative of this video is going to be none other than one of my favorite narratives, and you may be surprised, and that is the layer 2 narrative. Now this narrative is also very, very competitive, and the market cap is pretty small, sitting at $6.95 billion. Now, most of you are not going to like this narrative. However, personally, guys, without these layer 2 networks, Ethereum would still be that expensive network that no one wants to use. However, nowadays, we've got so many different Ethereum layer 2 networks. We've even got Bitcoin layer 2 networks, and you can see Mantle, an Ethereum layer 2, built by the Bybit team. Arbitrum, a leading layer 2. Optimism and the Superchain. Immutable, the GameFi layer 2 for Ethereum. Starknet, another Ethereum layer 2. Polyhedra, another layer 2. ZK Sync. Loopring, Scale, Metis, Lisk, Avo, Manta, Blast, Tycho, Scroll, Merlin, Cartesi, Xsphere, Lumia, Epic, Miria, Orderly, Boba, Coinweb, Layer AI. Guys, wow, there are so many and it doesn't stop. But not all of these are going to be here in the future. Not all of these are going to thrive, and although I wish I could give you the ones that are going to indefinitely be here, I definitely can't, because I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a fortune teller. If I could, I would. But in my personal opinion, a handful of these layer 2 networks will thrive. And in my personal opinion, one of them is going to be Optimism and the Superchain. They have developed a huge list of networks within their Superchain. We've got Base, Sonium, Unichain, so many others of which lay within the Superchain ecosystem, all utilizing the OP stack. Arbitrum, another tremendous layer 2 network of which I am very fond of. Immutable, specific for gaming and therefore it is purpose built for Ethereum and the gaming industry, another one I am very fond of. ZK Sync, another one I'm very fond of. But guys, many of you may realize that we did qualify for airdrops of these layer 2 networks. Some of these layer 2 networks, in my opinion, will not survive. Scroll, I am not fond of whatsoever. Tycho, I am not fond of whatsoever. Blast, not too bad, but I'm not really fond of it, and there are many others of which I think will die out completely. I don't want to say which ones, but guys, do your own research. If you enjoy a layer 2 network, that is usually a good sign if there's a lot of activity, if it's fast, if it's cheap, and especially if it's got a fantastic ecosystem. That, in my opinion, is how to tell whether or not it is going to be here in the future, and of course their development team and much more taken into consideration. However, we are not here to go specifically into the layer 2 narrative like that, and if you want more information on this narrative or any of the other cryptocurrencies within this narrative, you can let us know. But a quick explanation for those who don't know what layer 2 is. Essentially, it just refers to a secondary framework or protocol built on top of a layer 1, such as Ethereum and all of these different layer 2 networks. Therefore, they are built to simply address scalability and transaction speed issues, offering faster and cheaper transactions while maintaining the same security as the layer 1 itself. So basically, you'll find that all of these layer 2 networks, Arbitrum, Optimism, you can hold your Ethereum assets, but the best part is that it's faster and it's cheaper. Guys, this is what layer 2s are all about, and in the future when the bull run does come back and Ethereum Grey is peaking at those expensive price points, then in my personal opinion these layer 2 networks are going to thrive, but of course, like I said, only a handful. So guys, in a nutshell, we provided you with 6 different narratives in this video. In the future you can expect another 5 or 6 narratives that I'm very closely keeping my eye on. I would love to go through them in this video, but as you can tell, we would be here forever. However, guys, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget that we are not financial advisors. We do not give any financial advice. Always conduct your own research and always use a burner wallet for extra security. One last thing before we go, guys, as you can see, the market is tremendously suffering at the time of recording this video, but I don't think this is going to last forever. And like I said, these narratives that I provided you could very well make crypto millionaires in 2025. And therefore, by doing your own research on all of these narratives, picking out the best cryptocurrencies within these narratives could be a great shout and a great way of getting yourselves a diversified portfolio that could very well make you a millionaire in 2025. So guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button because it really shows support on our channel. If you would like to see more content like this or anything else, let us know in the comment section down below and we'd be happy to help. Our YouTube channel is full of airdrop guides, reviews, technical analysis and everything crypto related. So guys, stay tuned and we can't wait to see you in the next video.